Dancing bears, jumping bears, bears on a chain and bears as photo opportunities. These majestic animals are still exploited across Central Europe in ways that most people find abhorrent today. The brown bear is one of the most protected mammals in Europe, but in countries such as Albania, Bosnia and the Ukraine, bears are still illegally taken from the wild as cubs. This is the story of Mal, a large male bear who was rescued from appalling conditions in Kosovo. Last year, the Kosovan government collaborated with international charity Four Paws to seize all the country's restaurant bears, which were kept in cruel concrete cages as entertainment for diners. Kosovo's restaurant bears are now being cared for at a purpose-built sanctuary 15 miles outside Pristina. These impressive animals are physically and mentally scarred, and an international team of vets must now undertake a delicate operation. Mel is to be castrated to prevent him from breeding and perpetuating the problem of bears in captivity. He's an aggressive bear, and castration should also enable him to live more peacefully alongside other bears at the sanctuary. Mal must be shot with a tranquilizer dart outside because he refuses to come into his shelter. Keepers throw apples to entice him towards the perimeter fence. It takes a while for the tranquilizer to take effect, and the vets cautiously approach him from behind an electric fence to test if he is properly sedated. Now the clock is ticking, and the vets have an hour to operate.
Pull him this way a little bit. All the problems that a bear can get, they can get in captivity, be in a small cage or in a big cage. But the problem they really get when they're in these tiny cages is the fact they're not moving around. And a lot of the issues are psychological, but also their body mass becomes atrophic. So what that means is they get a bit smaller, their skin and coat's poor because they're often sitting in their own feces and urine, so they get skin problems. The physical problems of rehabilitation are relatively easy to fix, but the big issue is the psychological issues, and that takes a lot longer. Okay, we're good. I'm cutting. He's pulled his bollocks back in, he felt that. His testicles have just disappeared, which makes this incredibly difficult now. He's pulling quite a lot, so there's a testicle there. It's exactly the same as doing a dog. Take a little nick in like that.
The first testicle is removed with the minimum of fuss. Then there's a problem. Cracknell can't locate the second testicle.
Your testes can be dropped and pulled up and down, and whilst we had both testicles, it's disappeared, so he's taken it down. So what we've got at the other end is we're using anaesthesia to make him deeper so everything relaxes, and the idea is hopefully the testicle will come back to us. Worst case scenario is we make a note on his records and he only loses one testicle today, and then we redo him when he has the health checks.
Suddenly, Mel lashes out his enormous limbs. Is he waking up? We step back alarmed and ready to flee, but Cracknell calms everyone's nerves. The shaking is only a side effect of the tranquilizer ketamine, and the vets rush to adjust the dose. Finally, Cracknell locates the troublesome second testicle.
Right, thank God for that.
Mel's teeth, eyes and general health is also checked by the vets, who use ultrasound to look for liver cancer. It is an invasive operation, but Mal is one of the lucky ones. Across the border, in Albania, there are still more than 35 bears held in appalling conditions after being illegally captured as cubs. In Tirana, Albania's metropolitan capital city, it didn't take us long to find an upmarket restaurant which held a couple of very downtrodden bears in a tiny cage to provide photo opportunities for visiting diners. We approached the restaurant manager for an interview, but he refused to appear on camera. He claimed both his bears had been rescued after being found injured in the wild. They tried to return them to the mountains, but the bears didn't want to go. I'm not sure I believed him.
For every bear that you see in captivity, or maybe for 1 or 2 bears that you see in captivity, it means that a reproductive female has been shot from the wild.
That's the only way they can get the cubs, is by
yes,
shooting a
yes,
reproductive female.
The mother is overprotective towards its cubs, so they shoot a female with cubs in the wild, and they take the cubs at a very young age, and then they sell them for considerable amounts of money.
For Mal, at least, there is a happy ending. He is recovering well from his operation, and vets say he now gets along much better with the other rescued bears. These animals can never be released into the wild again. They are too tame and may be a threat to humans. But in the coming months, they will be moved to much larger enclosures, with space, pools, and plenty of cover for privacy. Here they are not free exactly, but they are free from the life of misery and exploitation still endured by more than 100 bears in Albania, Bosnia and the Ukraine.